This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining. All right, well, welcome back. We are downstairs again, and we got a new scenery for you guys, and I think it looks pretty good, I have to say.
Yeah.
We got the antelope. Tell us what we got going on here, Chris.
Yeah, before we get started, go for it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
in
all
frame?
in frame, I think.
Yes.
So on the, I guess over my left shoulder would be an eland. It's a Cape eland.
Massive.
It's
African animal,
Yeah,
correct?
it's from Africa. It's the world's largest antelope. And then it's a tri-mount with a bushbuck in the middle and a kudu on the other side.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool mount.
We got some deer.
We got some deers over here. Yeah.
Some nice mule deer from, I'm assuming, Montana, maybe Washington. I don't know.
One is Montana, one is Washington, or two are Washington. Excuse me. The
Don't get all choked up.
oh god. Top is Washington, and if you're following my hand down like a triangle to the left, my left, that is a Washington buck, which has a super cool rack. 'Cause it's almost like one of his antlers is like burned off.
That's cool.
And then the buck on the right is one I shot in Montana with my pistol, my 45 cal pistol.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good story for another
Hammer
podcast.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to do a mule deer
I
podcast.
got this
to talk about
lovely
mule deers.
armadillo.
And then an armadillo I shot on my buddy's ranch in Texas, and I was super excited to eat it. And then he told me that they are the number one carrier of leprosy. Fun fact for the day. So I did not.
Fun fact, so you did not eat it.
I did not. He goes, don't even touch it. And I was like, well, I shot it. I got to mount it. So, and that was quite possibly one of the most expensive mounts.
Really?
It cost a fortune. I was shocked how much the guy charged me.
Wow.
And it's not even mounted. It's just freeze dried.
Really?
Yeah, like the guts are in it and everything. Pick it up, feel it, touch it,
It's heavy.
touch it, Doug.
It's
Oh, man.
heavy.
Gentle, Doug.
Gentle.
Jeez, that was an expensive mount, Doug.
It's awful rough.
Awful
Yeah.
rough on it.
Yeah.
So
So-
anyway,
yeah.
we'll get back on track here. So we're going to talk about some season prep. So spring season's here. It's in full blown going. The guys are getting ready to go bear hunting this spring.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is headed to Alberta, right?
Yep.
And Jim's heading over to Montana after the fact.
Yep. No, I'm going before Chris.
Oh, you're going before Chris?
Yes. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. And then
Oh,
as
okay.
soon as I get back, Chris is leaving for Alberta.
Yeah,
So
Okay, I had my facts wrong.
back to
so-
back. Just cross the wires there.
canceled.
Cancel.
Cancel culture.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super jazzed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing to get yourselves ready?
Chris, you start first.
Well, I'm drinking light beer right now. So, instead of
First things
IPA.
first.
Got to watch that.
Watch
those
the
calories.
figure.
Watch the figure there.
This hunt is very. So I'm not a. I'm typically not like a guided hunt kind of guy, right? So this is like gonna be fairly easy and
You're not going to be trying to kill yourself, basically.
no compared to a lot of the hunts that I typically do, because a lot of the hunts that I do are
very
like last year.
physically
yeah, 2 people
demanding.
almost died, like literally. So I think that usually, like right now, I'm not a morning person at all. I force myself to get up in the morning at 5 to come down here and work out. I think the physical training is probably when you, for me, couple the physical training first thing in the morning, because I don't like getting up in the morning, and then you make yourself start lifting heavy weights, doing cardio, which is not my most favorite thing. It kind of gets you tougher mentally, prepares you for
Yeah.
I mean, we're still staying in there's going to be their wall tents or whatever, but I mean, it's going to be pretty nice accommodations. It's not going to be terrible,
Right.
but we're going to have to. We're going to stay up late, and we're going to have to get up early, and there's going to be times where you got to sit there, and there's going to be slow times where hey, you got to.
You're going to be sleeping in a blind probably a lot.
Yeah, don't fall asleep. If the bears come in, type of deal. So, but usually how I start any season prep, if you guys could imagine, directly over my back is out outside where we were just shooting some trad bows. All three of us were just shooting some recurves, and I've been practicing with mine with my opposite hand because of the surgery, but that's super hard. It's really, really hard, and I'm not
still kind of on the.
And I'm on the fence. Like I'm like, it's not super great. And I was looking at the pictures like of these giant 7-foot bears like draped over these 4-wheelers, and I'm like, I don't know if I should.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not.
You really need to go with something that's gonna pack a punch.
I wouldn't do it unless I was completely confident.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is definitely not some like I'm just gonna try this on a whim type of deal. You know, you might.
And I
might regret that decision.
I've been putting arrows downrange every day, right? So every day, even if it's just a couple, 5 or 6 arrows, I'm coming down and I'm shooting every single day, and just always being a right-handed shooter, and then all of a sudden trying to switch from right to left, and with a trad bow, it's just
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on target, but it's not. Super
I think
consistent.
honestly, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do something like what Clay did and shoot him at like 10 feet.
Yeah. It'd have to be awful close. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Either something on the ground or a really close tree stand.
You should just bring it, and then if like the situation is like, oh, you're gonna only have a 5-yard shot,
Right.
then be like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll do that, but
if
not,
just make. Yeah, I would.
Nitro Express.
Don't just do it to do it. Make sure you're confident. with your shooting.
I'm sure I'll probably bring it, and honestly, like I overpack for everything. So like earlier, actually James brought his dad over.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, he's talking about an old 303 British.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got an old gun that was my my grandfather-in-law, I guess he would be. So my brother-in-law, Grant, his grandpa, was in the war and had this sweet rifle that he converted and sporterized it. And I was like, man, it's like got the cool like gold green army patina and everything. And I was like, it'd be cool to bring that. So I might bring that. I'm definitely gonna bring the 470 Nitro Express, and then I might bring that old gun too and shoot because I'm gonna shoot 2 bears at least. Hopefully, knock on wood, I get the opportunity. So maybe I'll shoot one with that and one with the other gun.
No, I think that's a great idea.
And what's the other one? What caliber?
It's a .6.
It's a .6.
Yeah.
It's
Nice.
got a history, man.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
It's
super cool to go over that.
it's like it's badass.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my dad was talking to me today about that 303 British. He's like, I want you to get a scope on it, and I want you to kill something with that gun. And he was like, well, maybe I'll kill something with it. I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome, Dad. He's like, I would love to kill something with that 303. He's like obsessed with wanting to shoot that.
My dad's got a great story about a 303 British.
Yeah,
well, it's about a bear too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll let him tell it though.
Yeah, well, we can do a 303 British horror story because my dad's got a pretty good one too.
The funny thing is about that gun is it would shoot like 2 feet high and like a foot left. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what this one does.
Yeah,
this
so maybe it was the same gun.
It could be the same gun, dude. We're gonna have to find out if that's the same gun. Did your dad like borrow it or something?
I don't remember what it was, but his partner that he was working with was that he was hunting with. He was using it.
Oh my god!
And he shot a bear with it. And we'll have to let him tell the story. It's way better.
That's hilarious. But yeah, you should definitely bring it.
I should have pulled that other gun out for show and tell.
Mm-hmm. The old 30-06.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stand by. It's in the stand by.
Well, we'll keep it rolling here.
Stand by.
So Doug, why don't you jump into like what you're doing or what you usually do to get ready for like archery season and stuff like that? So,
speaking of that, I actually just started shooting again after the winter time, and I'm kind of a fair weather shooter when it comes to shooting archery. If you guys know what I mean,
right? Unless you have a nice covered area, it's hard to do it.
Yeah, exactly right. Plus, you get off of work and it's already dark.
Yep.
You can't really shoot archery in the dark.
No.
It makes it kind of hard. But yeah, I just started shooting. I actually got another different trigger that I wanted to try, and I got a thumb button.
Oh, okay.
And
so different kind of release?
Yeah, pretty much. I started off with the old, wrist strap that had the trigger. And I really liked it, but I was kind of curious on the other stuff, but I just when I first got into it, it's like I wanted to stay to one thing. And then come to find out after that first year, I was kind of not really anchoring properly. And once I kind of got that down, this last year, I decided to switch to a different style release. And instead of a thumb button, I bought a hinge release.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which, if you know what that means.
I know what it means.
So basically, instead of a button for your thumb, it's basically all off of the hinge in the actual release. So basically you're using these as like a squeeze. Mm-hmm. And when you get to a point that hinges, it releases. It helps you with your trigger punching. And I've noticed, and I was really curious on this new one that B3 Archery came out with, and it's called the Exit Hunter. It actually comes with a wrist strap attached to it, but it's a thumb button release. And I really like the hook style releases. I don't like the releases that have
the little pinch
pinch things. Yeah. Because I feel like with that hook, it absolutely, once you release or whatever, how it works is it completely opens up and it's completely free to the D loop. So there's no obstruction. It's fast.
Right.
It's not, because I've seen a lot of people's D loops get destroyed from those pincher ones. Mm-hmm. Just because
they kind of grab on
it cuts onto it a little bit as it lets go, because it's not.
Yeah.
So, and it has like all smooth edges on the hook, so doesn't destroy your D loop. I've never had a D loop like break or start ripping on me. And my hunting bow is set up to 80 pounds, but
that's hot.
Yeah,
Doug.
There's a lot behind it, but
that's a lot of weight.
So yeah, I started shooting with that new release, and I think I found the one I want to shoot with. And it's super easy. It's pretty easy to learn how to do it. I was a little worried at first, because using a new release is always kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
How far out from your first hunt are you?
I don't know. Probably August.
So we got time. So right now.
Yeah, and I was thinking about because I actually build my own arrows, so I was actually thinking about building a new one, because Serious Archery comes out with a lot of badass shit.
Are you going to think about trying to shoot a bear with a bow this year?
Of course.
Okay.
I would put a hammer down on a bear with my bow. I have a setup ready for a bear.
Yeah.
I have the arrow already built, ready to go with my hunt. I already have a hunting setup. I was just thinking about possibly doing another different arrow, because it came out with a new one that is lighter than the ones that I have. Mm-hmm. And if you can have the same durability and strength, but a little bit lighter grains per inch, you can get more FOC and you can get a faster arrow. And that FOC, once you get to 20%, that's when you really start getting that full penetration type.
Yeah, there's all that
deal.
Energy behind it, and it's got a lot of.
Yeah, let's just say that doe that I shot out there with that big ass arrow that I have, it went right through, I think, the back rib, and it went out the front left scapula, went right through it.
Zip.
Yeah, didn't even bust it, just went right through it.
That's
it like pulled it out, and the
it's
scapula
especially for elk, like elk and bear too, because bears have big, heavy bones.
Yeah,
I feel like you have to have a heavy penetrating arrow.
And I think also with bear, because of their hide, I actually am going to use just a little bit bigger broadhead. Mm-hmm. I have those annihilators, and I think the XL.
Gosh, you're using annihilators?
Yeah. Why?
Oh, just no reason.
It's cool. You do you, Doug.
No, I think they're probably fine. That just their cutting diameter is so small, as far as like. It just doesn't seem like a giant hole. I would say definitely for bear, I wouldn't want to use them. I'd want to use a bigger, thicker, like either a 2-blade or a heavy 3-blade.
But the thing with the annihilators is just it's designed differently than a 2-blade that's just going to cut.
Yeah.
Annihilator is designed to punch a hole through something. The last 2 deer that I shot with those annihilators, They had basically sucking wounds, and they were literally dead within 50 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I shot the year before, I hit it high. I think I hit it like clipped the lung, so it took a little bit, but with it going all the way through it,
Yeah.
and just completely blowing a hole through it is like it had no chance.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, I would like to see maybe a bigger broadhead that was built like that. Maybe if they did a little bit bigger, but
Like just a bigger diameter.
But the thing about the Annihilators is the bigger they get, the louder they are.
When they fly?
When they fly. Like there's a big difference that you notice in the smaller ones, the regular size ones compared to the XL size ones.
Yeah, I don't think that matters that
But
much,
with a
though.
bear, I don't think it's going to matter. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so you can get the same like weight, but one's just a little bit bigger cutting diameter than the other one. And they actually fly pretty similar.
So are you shooting 125s?
Yeah,
Do they make a 150?
they do. Yeah, but I've built everything with a really heavy insert.
Yeah, yeah.
So everything is set to have a 125 screwed into it. That's just how I have it set up right now. I could do it to where I put 150s, and I could have an even heavier arrow. It'd be
Yeah.
like over 700.
For shooting one of those big neck looking
Oh,
antelope
yeah.
things.
I know that those guys at Sirius, they went to Africa and they built like a 1,100 grain arrow for like water buffalo,
Oh, dude.
I think.
Can you imagine shooting like a Cape buffalo or water buffalo with an arrow?
I think if he had a 80-pound draw bow with 1,100 pound, it was like 1,150 grains in an arrow.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of guys shoot. I don't know. Like, there's been a million Cape Buffalo shot, and like you see the guys that gets the shit stomped out of them and die right after they shoot it with like a 470 Nitro Express, and then you see guys with arrows that shoot it, and then it falls over dead. But it's I don't know. There's like I said, there's been probably like millions of them shot, and I've seen guys just absolutely freaking hammer them with like big bore rifles, and these things just like
Just take it.
just soak it up, man. And like there was one guy.
I mean, shot placement is a real thing.
Oh, there was a guy shot.
have to on that.
He shot it with a 375 H&H, poked a hole through the heart, and it went like, I mean, like forever. Like, I mean, it was like
That's so many animals are weird like that. You can shoot. I've had countless stories of. Uncle Vern's told a story about he shot a buck right through the heart, and the thing ran like 300 yards before
Yeah.
it died.
It's the will of the animal, I guess. Some
pretty
animals
wild.
just die right away.
yeah, no,
Some of 'em
those
just-
Cape Buffalo are freaking tough animals,
Yeah,
dude.
Cape buffalo.
Everything in Africa's tougher.
Oh yeah,
It's like
100%.
I mean, like I shot a couple things. Where I was like, if I was back home, that second thing would have just fell over and been dead already. Like, you know, like I shot one with my Ultra Mag and it went back to eating.
What?
I was like, feeding, swear to God. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That Gims buck over in the corner.
Really?
Boom.
The
Just soaked it up.
swirly horn thing?
The big
The
straight.
spiral?
No.
Not spiral, the little stack one.
Yeah.
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 It looks like one of those suckers you used to get when you were a kid.
Yeah.
The little twirly.
right.
Okay,
yeah.
Jim, that's a weird
Hey,
place. To
I know
go.
what
It's
you're
like
talking about, yeah.
looking at its horns. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, if that was rainbow colored, that'd be like one
Yeah.
of the suckers. Cut that
Oh,
thing in
gosh.
sections. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of, there's that would be a good talk for some of the African animals. But you have like the ringed horn, the spiral horn, and then like the bush buck, like that look like them in the eland there. Like they all have really unique style of horns.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
They have super cool animals over there.
Well, show us your show and tell now that you have that.
Oh yeah. So
Oh, we have a show and tell. I didn't know that.
He just went and grabbed it.
Oh,
this is he's gone on to the great hunting pasture in the sky, but this was his service rifle, which he brought home and sporterized. So if you don't know what sporterized means, basically they just pull the old ugly stalks off, and like you could tell, like you could see like the sand marks and the file marks, and like he made this, and it is it's pretty cool. It says U.S. Remington, and it's a 03A3 and 30-06, and it has adjustable peep sights on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to say, I can't see shit. I don't have my glasses on. I want to say there's like
The struggles of getting old.
yeah. I want to say there's either 45 or 60 minutes of angle adjustment in this thing. And so I had built a dope sheet for this, and I took it out. And if you're watching, it's unloaded, but I'm pointing it at you right now. But there's like a itty bitty tiny peep in the back.
Just a little tiny hole.
Yeah, and the front bead, and this thing is accurate as all get out. And after
It's a tack shooter.
oh dude, I took it out, and I'm not that great a shot, and there was a
Let's be modest.
I'm not, and so we had just a regular like I don't know like it was a white paper plate, like the Dixie paper plates or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And 660 yards consistently hitting that plate.
Wow.
Like time and time again.
With a peep sight.
With a peep sight, yeah.
That's crazy.
And so, as James and I were talking with his dad down here earlier in the day, I think I'm going to bring this to Alberta as well and shoot a bear with it because I think Grandpa would get a freaking kick out of it.
Oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Oh man, they'll put a hammer down too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty freaking sweet. I love this gun.
Yeah.
I think the thrill of just doing it with something like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you got to do it at the 475, right?
The 470,
the
yeah.
470, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then do it with something like that.
Do a lot 6 and yeah.
So how many tags do you have? You have 2?
2, yeah.
You have 2?
Yeah.
Unless you get a wolf, and then you have a wolf tag too, right?
Yeah. And I think they have like you can shoot like coyotes and stuff there too, but
Yeah. The chances of getting a wolf probably are slim.
they're pretty slim. But I'm bringing a trailer.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna have all kinds of stuff.
yeah, I mean like it's coolers and trailers and bringing all all the meat back. We're gonna have a bunch of meat. So I talked to the guy and he's like, "Oh yeah, a lot of guys just like leave their meat." And I was like, "Well, can I have it?" And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "'Cause it's delicious."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, we usually just have a pile that we like feed the coyotes and wolves." And I'm like, "How about you like feed the cantrells instead?"
There you go.
That would be cool. So
Nice.
I think what I'm gonna do. You have freezers, and I'm just gonna bone everything out and I'll freeze it and bring it back, and then maybe we'll do like an episode of like, hey,
Make some
what do you do
process.
with 1,000 pounds of bear meat? Let me show you.
Because
If
your dad
if you can butcher a nice bear shoulder,
Oh yeah,
I'll smoke it.
smoked the whole thing. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
you, your dad,
yeah.
and what, one or two of your buddies? Or
No, Matt Russell.
not Russell's
So-
going.
But you gotta leave some bear fat on it. Like
Yeah.
Oh
leave
yeah.
leave a
I'm
cap
leaving all
like,
the
like
yeah.
at least a half inch.
We're gonna be rendering some fat. James just brought me some more boot grease because I gave some to a buddy of mine. Leon St. Onge is gonna go, and then we're gonna have my good buddy Brent Thiel, Hunterman Thiel on the Insta, and then so we're gonna have me and my dad, right? My dad's just as big as I am, and then Leon, who's a big dude, and Brent's a pretty sizable guy. And then we're bringing T. What up, T?
What up, T?
T.
He's flying up from Texas, and he's our cameraman. He's gonna videotape us, and so all 5 of us are going.
You guys gotta look like giants.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
Sorry, T.
yeah. So there's 5 dudes gonna be in this truck going up from Washington, driving up to Alberta. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
Dude, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
I wish
gonna
I
be a
could go
sweet
with
road
you.
trip.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And
Well-
Matt's flying up because he's too bougie to ride in a vehicle.
He's
gonna have to-
scoping it out.
Just gonna have to quit my job, guys, and then I can just go
Yeah.
on all the trips.
Oh,
So, speaking of quitting jobs, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so because we don't get paid any dollars.
yeah. we just got enough to monetize, and
Yeah, we're finally almost able to monetize, or we just did, and we make $0. So
we're not sponsored by Coors Light yet. So
no, we don't have any Coors Light.
Yet.
Bud Light approached us, and
yeah.
well,
Well, I think you guys know the rest.
Yeah.
too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too
Okay.
soon.
Anyhow, so Jim, what are you doing to get ready for your hunt?
Well-
what do you need to buy? What do you need? Obviously, you had to get tags.
Yeah, we got the tags. I need to figure out what kind of camping situation we're going to do because we're going to be in Montana in the spring, which can be just
You don't
about
know.
any kind of weather.
Yeah,
It could
so
literally
you
be a
gotta
blizzard
prepare-
overnight, or
Yeah,
it could
you
be
got to prepare for both.
yeah. I was gonna do wall tent, but honestly, dude, I might just go buy a brand new little trailer and just take it over there because it's so nice. Staying in a trailer versus wall tent when you. I mean, there is some nostalgia.
Are you getting weak on me, Jim?
Dude,
Oh, dude.
100%.
Waking up in the morning and like flipping a light on and having power and like not getting the shit bit out of you by mosquitoes all night. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to sit down on the toilet after I have my coffee. And like, I'm sold right there. Like,
Yeah.
this is nice.
I mean, I do like doing like a wall tent camp. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no replacement for that. I like it. I think it's more of like,
It just takes you back.
yeah, it does. It takes
know?
you back. It kind of humbles you almost. Like, this is where you came from. This is how
Right.
you started.
I like a camper, or for like you're going to go like spike out, like bringing like a little tiny,
Right.
itty bitty 2-man tent and all your crap on your back and going like that. Like I like that style, or I want to be like,
It's either all or
All or
really,
nothing.
I want to go
Yeah.
back to the trailer and have a whiskey and watch Letterkenny, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, you kind of are, obligated to only being able to bring what you can pack in
Yeah.
Right.
in some situations.
It's totally
So
different style hunting too.
Yeah. And there's a completely different mindset to that.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that eventually.
Yeah.
We
But-
definitely put ourselves through pain and agony. When was that? Was that last year or the year before? I can't remember
That was
now.
a year before last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When we did the cowboy trail.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So Doug could tell you all about it, how easy of a hike in it was, and how it was only 5 miles, right?
Only 5 miles.
only 5
It was only
miles.
5 miles until you got to
So-
go off the beaten path.
Those as those of you know, when your buddy says it's only 5 miles, usually that's code word for I'm lying to you because it's twice as far, and I knew you wouldn't come if you do this. So I think
If I lied to you, you wouldn't do it.
did we figure out it was 12 miles to where we ended up?
Yeah, it was 12 and a half the way we went in.
That's so
It
crazy.
was 15.
And we had
It was 15 on the way out.
how much of it? It was like a 3,000 foot or more,
We-
3,000
we-
foot elevation gain.
Let's just put it this way: we climbed straight up the mountain.
Yeah, straight
like-
up.
Yeah, I didn't go. on
We
that
not sideways, not
So
going up like an
when
actual
you're
trail
in
either.
Deep stuff where you take a step and you take another step and then you lose your footing and you slide down all the area. You
We
just
were
went up.
basically
We did that over
walking
and over
straight up
with
until it
80
was
pounds on your
like
back.
until it was literally a cliff face.
Yeah.
Then
they
we
were
had to find a new
and
way.
then we had to find another path.
Yep.
And you would look down and you go, "I'm not going down that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
going,
go.
I'm going up.
I'm gonna ride my.
I'm
boy
gonna
down.
die if I go down." So
Yeah. I'm not doing that, boys.
Yeah, at a certain level of commitment, we just had to commit to it, and that ate up so much of the day.
it took us 8 hours to get up there.
Just from like this little spot to this spot, but it was 3,000 feet of elevation gain, and it was like that vertical. So
We probably gained 4,000 feet altogether.
oh yeah, easy. By the time we got up to like the top, the
It
highest
was
point,
like 65, I think,
Yeah.
where we ended up at, and we started at like 3.
but it goes into what we were just talking about, like having that mindset where
Yeah.
sometimes it takes a lot of determination because there's so many times where you're out hunting and doing something and it's so easy to go, I think I'm just going to turn around. This is pretty far, or this is pretty good.
Or you're giving in to your body.
Yeah,
you
your body's
know,
saying,
like,
I don't know if this is a good idea. And you're like, yeah, you're probably right. Then you go back and guess what? You don't get any of that cool experience out of that. You end
you
up
don't get a story of it either.
No, you don't get a
that
story,
memory.
that memory. That I always tell people, especially my good buddies, the worst moments at the time always end up being the best memories
and the best stories.
and the best stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Because you don't like all the great easy stuff that happens. Like if every time you went out and it was just
It's
like
not as
I walked
memorable.
out in there
It's
and
not
there's
as
a shot to
memorable
say.
if something doesn't
No.
suck.
If there's a suck in the middle of it, you're like, yeah, this sucked the whole time up until this point.
This
and
point.
then that's like the glory. Or maybe it doesn't happen at all. Maybe there's no glory. Maybe the whole thing is a suck.
Yeah. Been
Yeah.
there.
But you rewind back later on and you go, man, that sucked. But that was super awesome.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
And Cowboy Trail was that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You got to persevere through it and force your body to do things it doesn't want to do and keep that
Saw some
positive
terrain
mindset.
that you would never see if you would you have to go up there to see it.
Mm-hmm.
There was 5 like actual mountain peaks in that ridge line.
And
Pretty
then we
impressive.
ended up going through, I don't know, I think it was like 6 or 7 valleys and then back up on the way back.
Yeah, that's what
It
I'm
was
saying. It was
ridiculous.
because every time we dipped down and went back up, we were going up over another mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, and we weren't exactly going up over. We were kind of going around
yeah.
the side of it, but still, that was up, down. That was,
It was hell on the way back.
yeah, it was just as bad on the way out as it was on the way in.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as hot,
It wasn't as hot. Yeah, we went on that really
but we were already beat.
hot weekend.
Plus, we started running out of food because we
Yeah,
we
we were
burned
so spent.
many calories that we're like, oh, okay. We ate like probably half our food like the first night because we were so
Let's
hungry.
just put it this way: we picked like a whole like gallon-sized bag worth of blueberries. They were gone by the end of that night.
Yeah.
I love mountain blueberries.
Oh, they were so good.
Oh, they're so good.
It was definitely a refreshing treat
Yeah.
to have.
For those that know,
Yeah,
mountain blueberries. you
they're
can't
the
beat it.
they're the bee's knees.
Yeah.
But back to we were talking about the mindset.
Yeah, the mindset. I think that really ties into. I got a buddy, call him Scottsdale because he lives in Scottsdale. Very successful guy, and I was talking to him about mindset, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm doing this this cold plunge stuff, right?" And I'm like, and the guy's like, he's works out all the time, super jacked, very physically fit, and again, very, very successful. And I'm like, why would you like that? So, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't like the cold one bit, probably because I'm half metal.
Oh,
but
really?
Oh, I hate the cold.
I
Like,
used to do that all the time.
oh, dude, my spinal cord.
I was an athlete for 20 years. I mean, when I
I'm
played,
metal. I'm metal from here to here, dude.
when I played ball,
Mm-mm.
it was
So
an ice bath.
Would you put
like,
your arm in the bath or would you your whole body go?
whole body.
Oh yeah, hard no.
I'd sit in it for about 15 minutes.
No. So I asked
Did
him.
you
I'm
like
like,
it?
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
I was pretty hardcore when it came to the ice baths.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so like the health benefits, or like is there something wrong with you? Are you dying? Do you have cancer? And he's like, no, I'm doing it because it's hard. I'm
So
like,
let's put it this way. Speaking of that, when we did that crazy hike, we hiked up to 2 lakes, and they were glacier lakes. Mm-hmm. So they were ice cold, and we were all just trashed after that hike in. And I think the second day, like after we hiked up that morning, we hiked up to the bigger lake, and then came back. And I mean, we just pretty much went up there and we were like scoping out the area. And I mean, you could see for miles. And it was just a huge bowl. We thought maybe something would come down to the lake. Nothing ever did. But we ended up going in that lake that afternoon, and talk about recovery from soreness is a huge help.
Oh yeah, soaking
Just-
your feet and like
Yeah,
your
because I mean,
muscles.
your feet were sore, legs are sore. I mean, just being able to get that, relief is kind of what I would use it for.
yeah.
It helped a lot because I felt like it kind of gave us that rejuvenation too.
When we were up on the high country hunt this last August with Hardsock, when we went up on horseback,
Yeah.
we got eaten alive by mosquitoes all day long, every single day, like to the point where it was just like bites on bites. It was just
yeah,
like,
I hate that.
just terrible.
Yeah.
And the only way you could get any sort of relief from like the itching and like all this
Going in
swelling
the water.
is I kept going in the water over and over again
Yeah.
because it's glacier
Yeah.
water, it's freezing. And I would lay in that, and they're like, Hardsock didn't want to because he was like, it's so cold. And I'm like, dude, it was worth it though, because I would lay in it for about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then I'd get out and all the swelling had gone down from the
Yeah.
bites, and like it gave me some relief and stuff. So there is something to it.
There definitely is.
But
I think it's a mindset thing though too. Like,
Oh,
like I said,
100%.
this is a guy who's like uber successful, and he's like, yeah, I just do it because it's hard. Like, that's it. I'm like,
I do all kinds of stuff that's hard though.
oh, dude, yeah, tell me about it. You can hear my kid banging around upstairs right now. Shush. No, I think that's true though. Like, the older you get, like you just gotta, like, nothing good ever comes from the comfort zone.
Right.
Like,
No. I think having that mental state is definitely important. It's mind over matter.
Well, and it's not
when
just
it
like
comes down to
the
it.
physical part of it. It's the mental part of it too. Like, I know personally, after 3 or 4 days of hunting your ass off and not seeing anything, or like
You get a lot of self-doubt.
yeah,
you know,
you start going, man, maybe I just don't got it anymore.
and it
maybe,
becomes easy to where
Yeah.
you don't want to get up and you don't want to go out. You want to
you'd rather
just
sit back and drink
sit
beer
back
and
yeah, exactly.
and it's
You know,
keeping that.
and sometimes you need that mental break. You know, it's okay. Like, you know, that one day I think we did that. We went down to the river.
Yep.
And, you know, it was a long week. It was hot.
Yeah.
So we kind of needed that mental relief.
Sometimes
and then
you do,
then you get right back after it,
Yeah.
you know. But you don't want to sit back if you have a limited amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you really got to take the opportunities.
I think if you can punish yourself preseason, it makes the difficulties of season a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
True.
Like getting up early when you don't want to get up early.
Yep.
Working out first thing.
Putting in the work early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the mental toughness. It goes a long way. It's like freaking.
It really does.
You know, legs twice a week right now, and it's freaking brutal, dude. Like I hate it, but you know, it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like right now, most Washingtonians know that, like, since we don't have a spring season, everyone's jazzed up for tags, right? Because it's time to put in for your special draws, and which we've all been talking about. We talk about oil tags a lot, so the once in a lifetime draw. So you got your sheep and your goat and your moose.
Yeah, and that was getting me excited thinking about all that.
I got a really good feeling, man. Like, and I say this every year. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, so you have the once in a lifetime tags. Not to get off topic here, real quick, but like the draw
this goes with it. Yeah,
is we have like quality deer, quality elk, and then we have buck or bull, right? And so it's like you can choose. Like, I have like 20 things I'm putting in for, probably. You know, between like all the little subsections, like sheep and ewe and like all the different things, right? So I have a lot of draws. I have
all the extra stuff.
I have a shit ton of points, you know? And I'm like, I got to get drawn for something here eventually, right? You know, don't get me wrong. Like, I trash Jay Inslee a lot, and I don't think he has a lot of power here, but I swear to God, I think like during the draw time, he's like going into WWE, he's like, hey, this guy, no good.
We don't like this guy.
I've always talked like with amongst buddies and stuff about like, there's got to be like a blacklist. And
100%.
I'm definitely on the blacklist.
You're blacklisted.
Oh, just
Dude,
like
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I'm shadow banned on Instagram. I'm shadow banned through the fishing game, man.
There's got to be like, okay, these people drew a tag, and then they're like going through the list. They're like, oop, yep, I've drawn quality moose, or I've drawn moose and probably quality elk 3 times, and they're like, oh no, he can't have that tag. Give that to somebody else.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I figure it goes in my head.
It's got to be, dude. It's got to be. And to be fair,
how do you get off the blacklist?
Like James and I, so when you in Washington State, when you shoot a bobcat, right, you got to go get that sealed, right? So you got to make an appointment, go in, and we go up to Anacortes, and there's a couple people that are just like literally some of the most solid human beings that work for Fish and Game. And I know I give them a lot of shit, and these guys are super great, and gals are super great. But then you have like the bad apples, like, you know, like the Lords and the rest of these people, like on our fishing game committee, that are ruining
the Karens.
Yeah, and they're just, you know, it's like a.
I got 2 or 3 names I could throw out there right now. I'm not going to do it, although I should.
They just
call him Karen, Jim.
Yeah,
they
call you Karen.
Yeah,
you know who you are.
Yeah,
the guy with the
it.
Acrylian bear dog.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Well, if none of us get drawn this year, you're getting called out.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a hot episode after the draws come out. If I don't get a tag, all 3 of those names are coming out, and I know you're the reason why I'm on the blacklist.
Oh, what do the kids call it? The shade. We're gonna throw some shade.
Yeah.
Some shade.
It's just, you know, and it's not, and like you said, like there's not everyone in the game department that's bad, right?
No,
there's
absolutely not. No.
But as everyone that's listening can relate, there is those stories or experiences that just, they rub you the wrong way. They just stick in your craw.
Yeah.
And it comes from some of these people that are in position and working for the department that are just completely negligent, unreasonable human beings. And those are the guys that ruin it for everybody.
Or gals.
Or gals. Yes,
Sounds
there's
like
some gals
quite a few people
too.
in this country right now.
Yeah.
So
there's all kinds
But
of
There's a reason
anyhow,
why there's all those
before we get
here, rant time.
before we get off on a crazy,
I'm
ass
grabbing a
rant,
gear right now, Doug. You better
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah, rein it in there.
we gotta pump the brakes a little bit here, Chris. So now that we've talked a little bit about the springtime and getting ready for that, so what do we need to mentally and physically get ready for the fall? Because that's when we grab another gear, and that's when all hell breaks loose, and it's a free for all.
Once August comes around, like the
It's
gloves
game
are off,
on.
and we're off to the races until damn near December.
Yeah,
So
like it's game on every single day.
It really depends on the draws, too, because I usually go out of state. I get drawn from Montana this year, so I usually take the whole month of November off. And so I don't know what I'm going to do, right? So I mean, I would think I would get drawn for something just because I have 20-something points, right? So, like, yeah, you'll get drawn. But, I mean, I know a lot of people with 25 points, like, yeah, I put in every year, I don't get drawn. I'm like,
yeah. Well, I
Okay.
know a lot of those people, and then eventually I hear about them getting drawn, though. But yeah, there's a lot of dudes out there.
I
with
would really
20
like
points.
to venture more out of state because that's pretty much what I've done my whole life.
It's pretty fun, Doug. You should-
I'm
you should
I
do
know.
I'm really excited
Well, what
about
I'm really
Alberta.
looking forward to is going out to Indiana and meeting some of my ladies' folks
on
Yeah.
the, on the
that
download,
that
Doug.
have
Shut
some have some farms out there.
Yeah,
Shut up,
Indiana's got some massive whitetails.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just put it this way: they got the Boone and Crockett record
For whitetail.
whitetail.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dude, the Washington whitetail look like nothing compared to some of those
Oh yeah,
eastern states.
yeah, 200 plus.
Well, we might be doing, depending on how the hunt goes. Like, I've never met this guy that I'm going with for bear here in a couple weeks, but he seems like a super cool guy. I'm really excited. I absolutely despise Justin Trudeau. I think he's an absolute piece of garbage. So
Back
he's
to Trudeau again.
he's hurt.
Yeah, good old Trudeau.
He's hurt so many
Trudeau.
like hunting related people in industries and businesses. I mean, across the board. Like, the guy's just oh man.
He's the worst.
He is the worst.
Yeah.
He is a terrible human being. So, going up there and spending some money, if these guys are, like, seem like good guys and the hunt goes well, they have other hunts as well. So I might go up in the fall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You probably want to find out about the draws first
Yeah.
and make sure you
Get
don't
ready to
draw,
freeze.
like,
Get
2 or
ready
3
to freeze
tags
your
before
ass
you-
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
You
up
might
there,
want to invest in a body heater suit.
I have.
You
for
can
some-
borrow
for
my
s-
heated socks.
I have.
for some cold sits if you're planning on going
Oh,
up
yeah.
for some
I
late
did-
whitetail.
We were actually, James was looking at some heated stuff. I'm not going to mention the company, but I do have. I have a fantastic wife, as most people know, and she bought me a Kuiu burner jacket, and it is literally the bee's knees. It will kick the shit out of anybody. Like, as our good friend Mr. Grenda always points out on the Shitka, like, does not hold a candle to it.
No.
Not even a smidgen. Like, that burner jacket is the pinnacle. I mean, it is so nice, and it is so, and it's super warm without, like, making you, like, sweat to death. I don't know how they do it, but, like, it's
Yeah.
you.
I got to. When was I wearing that? Why was I wearing one of your jackets?
I don't know, because we do weird things sometimes. But,
Apparently.
yeah.
I remember wearing it, and I was like, I like this
We had
jacket.
a couple Bud Lights.
I think
and,
I just,
you know.
like, maybe we were doing.
boy. Getting a whole nother level here, guys.
Hold on, folks.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes.
No, it's like putting a sleeping bag on.
Yes.
It's literally like, think of like a super, super nice sleeping bag.
Yeah.
It's like putting a sleeping bag on.
Yeah.
Who
And-
makes a sleeping bag that has, like, that you can put on and put your arms through? Wasn't it like, was it Stone Glacier maybe? Or I remember seeing it. It was like for glassing. You can, like, get in this sleeping bag and put your arms through, and, like, I was like, oh, that's a
Doug,
great
I-
idea. No, I saw it. It was on the
Oh,
internet.
boy.
I swear.
it was true if it was on the internet.
Yeah. Anyways, that's beyond the fact. I can't even remember
you
what
might
brand
be
it was.
thinking of a body heater suit, which is an actual company that makes, like,
Oh, like the old Jim Shockey wears?
yeah, it's an insulated suit basically that you can put your arms in and everything. And
What up,
you
Jim?
Jim
can go down to some pretty cold temperatures.
Yeah.
And especially if you want to sit out for a long time, definitely having the right gear. And that brings up another thing that we wanted to talk about is, in your season prep, you have to, the seasons that you're going to hunt, you have to have all of the gear to go along with that season, so
otherwise you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, sometimes you need to have stuff for hot weather because, the season here starts in August, so we're out getting after bears right after the gate, and it's, 100 degrees.
Yeah, 100 plus. It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot everywhere, and then you get later into the fall, and then you do the late hunts in November, and there's snow on the ground, and it's 10 degrees outside.
Stand by, he's pulled it up. He's proven his point.
It's Shitka.
Oh, it's Shitka. I think Adam Grenda had that on, if I remember correctly.
Look at that. Yeah. Adam, were you wearing the Shitka sleeping bag? It looks like a hoodie, but it's just a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I mean, the theory is great.
Just look it up. Look up body heater suits, Jim.
I'm looking it up. Look at this one. It's like a sleeping bag suit.
It looks like you look like the Michelin Man.
That's what you need.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about gear real quick. We had a guy, Jesse M, asked for like some. He's a fella that's a little closer to my age. If people at home see my facial hair, it's genetic, but I think it's past point.
What are you trying to say?
I think
You're
it's
old.
It has nothing to do with the amount of stress that we're under on a daily.
It's not even gray. It's just white. It's just white. I look like a
You
wizard
shall
up here.
not pass.
So, but he's wanting to get into hunting, and he's like, hey, some tips, like some pro tips would be sweet. And so I was thinking like maybe we should throw out like a tip, to some of the people that maybe are listening. I think a lot of people that are listening are probably very accomplished hunters, but I think that some of them are like, oh, like maybe you throw out just like a snippet, like a little something that you learned somewhere. And I remember I got a real good pro tip just because we have a giant eland behind us.
Pro tip right here, guys.
Yeah, I was
Pro tip alert.
I was in South Africa, in between Johannesburg and Cape Town, and I'm in the middle of East Jesus, and there's very little like there's no timber really. Like the acacia trees are very short. They're like 10 foot tall, if you want to call them trees. They're just thorny bushes basically. But we were sneaking on these. I don't even think it was eland. I think it was something else. Anyways, long story short, I'm going through, and I remember the guide. So the PH there, they're professional hunters. They like literally have to go to college to do this. And he's like, and he looks at me like super upset, and he's like, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I was like, oh yeah, I hunt all the time, and and he's like, my fat leg was like hanging out in the sun, outside of the shadow, and he's like, stay in the shadow, idiot. Like, they're gonna see you, but we were like hundreds of yards away. He's like, they will still see you hundreds of yards away if you stand out in the sunshine, like keep to the shadows, right? Yeah. So it's like stay out of the sun, stay in the shadows, stay in the brush line, stay in the tree line, whatever. And that stuck with me a lot. And that's a little tiny pro tip.
Anytime you're in the open, for sure.
Yeah.
Your chances of getting busted are way more.
Good tip. Never silhouette yourself. Always have some sort of backdrop behind you. Yep. Is what I see.
Good luck.
Think about
good luck, Jim.
How often are you?
Because I've literally been standing in front of a tree, right, and not putting any arms out to the side. Literally standing there in front of the tree with everything blocking behind me. I'm standing there with Hunter Orange on, probably blue jeans, and I had deer literally walk 10 feet by me. I had no idea I was even there. If you don't silhouette yourself.
Yep.
And you have a good backdrop behind you, regardless of the fact if you're in the open or not, I feel like if you're still enough, an animal will not see you.
Throw us out one there, Jimbo.
I know. Pro tip?
Pro tip. I put you on the spot. We didn't plan this out, by the way, and I was just thinking because Jesse had mentioned this to me, and I think he's a super solid guy. So
this is a pro tip.
It's a good thing, It makes you think about stuff that we've learned over the years of hunting for so
a lot
long.
of times of messing up.
It's like you never think about it because it's second nature to us.
Right. Pro tip number 1. I'm going to give 2. One really quick one, and then pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 1.
2.
Slow down, tough
As
guy.
you're walking out of camp in the morning, always, and I repeat, always throw a roll of toilet paper in your backpack.
Oh,
Never leave camp without toilet paper.
Oh, that
Even if you
is-
think it's a 30-minute hike, you don't need it. You're still
always take toilet
always
paper
take it with you. Okay,
Oh, that is
that's
a-
number
Even if
1.
you're gonna just go take a look,
that
always
is a
have some
really-
TP on you.
That's a good tip.
You can save a lot of T-shirts, and we've talked about this before.
And
Yeah.
socks.
Socks or whatever.
You sure you want to give 2? You want to save one? You can give 2.
I'm gonna give one more. Okay.
I think here's another one. When you get out of the truck and you're going out to your hunting spot, make sure your gun's loaded.
Oh yes, that's a good pro tip.
Or make sure you have bullets in your gun, because
Also-
I've heard many stories of people forgetting to put bullets in their gun,
Well, you get going and getting your stuff ready, and then you like
and you
for-
totally forget
you're like,
to
Yeah.
put a
and then you
bullet.
start going, and you got your gun
Or
ready.
you,
Yeah.
or you put the bullets in
I've
your
never
gun
done
and you
that.
don't put a bullet in the chamber, and then
Yep.
that moment happens and you pull up and you go click and you're like, oh shit, and then it's like, oh
I'm sure that's happened to a lot of new guys.
yeah.
It's never happened to me.
Very important.
Be safe though. Safety
Always.
on. Keep your
Safety
gun
on.
Safety
pointed.
on always. Yeah.
Always keep the muzzle pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say another pro tip when since you're talking about trucks, would be never, if you're hunting, especially if you're road hunting or even like glassing or just like checking on a new area, never slam the door. Always,
Yes.
I get after people constantly because you're
I
getting
was-
out and you're like, okay,
I was a
everyone
bad
quiet.
culprit of that.
Oh, Doug, I got
and
after
Jim
you
was
all the
giving me
time.
shit after the first time. He's like, "Damn it, Doug!" It's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." I never really thought about it, but
Yeah, because you never know where something's gonna be.
no, because you're always so used to just closing your door. Even if you close your door normally,
Yes.
you gotta. And it's hard because you're always used to just closing it normal.
Yeah, you just close the door.
Yeah.
It will literally because if they're close to the road, it doesn't matter what you're hunting, elk, deer, bear, whatever. They're used to hearing cars,
No
Yes.
matter what, no matter
but
where
they
they are.
know the
yeah.
sound of a door shutting,
Yes.
and that's danger. Cars they're used to it, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you slam that door,
And it could be, 600 yards away, and that noise
oh
carries.
yeah,
And they go, oh, something's off.
yeah.
Or
Puts
if
them on
you-
alert
Or if you see
before they
something,
leave.
don't turn your truck off.
Yeah, sometimes. Or if you see something, like if you're, say, you're road hunting,
Yeah.
and you're like, going down a logging
Yeah,
road, and you
because
see
not,
a
lot
big
of pe-
buck, and it's standing there, and it's alert, and it's looking, especially if it's a whitetail. A mule deer might just stand there all dumb, like, "Durr."
Yeah,
But
and
a
not care
whitetail-
in the world. Yeah, whitetail ain't gonna
If
have
you're
very
not
much time.
ready, you don't have your gun out, you don't have anything ready, you're not ready to jump out, you're not ready to shoot, don't even stop. Just go past it, go down the road, get your gun, at least get some of your stuff ready.
The rollout.
Yep. Then park, get out, and
Yeah.
shoot. Like when you're ready and really ready to shoot.
Yeah,
Like, because that's something a lot of guys do. Oh, there's a big buck, and then they start fumbling around, pulling their gun out, trying to find bullets or wherever, and jump
Lock
out of their
'em-
truck. By
lock
the time
'em
they
up.
jump out,
Yeah.
the buck's already gone.
Well, I think that's a solid one. How are we doing on time there?
I don't know how long we've been going for.
Is that a
be honest
good
with
one to
you.
wrap it up on?
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
So, and that I feel like that's good. We should end with some pro tips.
Should we do a giveaway?
110%.
Because we didn't do one on the last one.
Yeah.
But what are we giving away?
I don't know. What should we give away?
So,
Do tell, Chris. What are we giving away?
first of all, number one, whoever's listening to this, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys very much. We have limited time to do things like this, and these guys drive up here and sit in my downstairs and do this nonsense, and we run our mouths, and we appreciate you guys listening. And while we're at it, Doug says thank you to our sponsors. Loophole, I'm a big fan, as you know. If you've ever been in my gun shop, Black Rifle Coffee, there's some super solid people. And also like Montana Knife Company. So all of these companies, all of us believe in very, very much. And we put our money into these companies as well. Like we will buy their knives and we'll buy their coffee. I own a ton of Black Rifle coffee stock that I've lost my ass on, but I don't care. Like I feel like it's a good investment because I supported the company. Like I love those
Right.
guys. And Loophole, like I spend tons and tons and tons and tons of money on Loophole scopes. So I think that everyone should go out and support who you like, but if you have a chance, we'd appreciate if you could support those companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while you're at it, buy a Bear Country Outdoors T-shirt.
Yeah,
too,
and
because
buy,
support us.
get on the internet and
Get on the old internet.
go to the store and buy something.
You can find it on the website too.
Run the
I
swag.
can't tell you how excited I get when I'm out in random places in public and I see one of our shirts on someone or
It's
something.
pretty cool.
I'm like, yes.
It's pretty cool.
Accomplishment.
And part of me is like, should I go up and say something? And then part of me is like, no, I don't want to make it weird.
Right.
So if you see me out in public, just come approach me and be like, I'm wearing your shirt.
I
Yeah.
think we should do. I think we should maybe some. You want to do a swag package, or what do you want to do?
Sure. Let's do
A
a
swag.
Yeah.
Should we do
Kinda
a predator management is
swag.
conservation T-shirt?
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that because I'm a big Blood Origins fan too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because we are
Shout
also
out to
big
Blood
supporters
Origins.
of Blood Origins. Robbie over there is doing a great job.
Yep. Solid guy. Super solid guy.
If you don't know what Blood Origins is, they run
Check
an
it out.
organization it's a nonprofit, and their whole mission is to normalize and help educate people on
The truth.
the truth about hunting, which
Yeah.
is
and conservation.
yeah, like trying to bring people from the non-hunting community into a middle ground. Basically, is what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Where's your food come from?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Sometimes that's the only
The
choice.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
So let's give away a
T-shirt,
T-shirt, and I think we should do like
like a bag of coffee.
yeah, we could do some Black Rifle coffee. We could buy some.
How about some? We'll do an instant coffee. One of the like backpacking instant
Ooh,
coffee.
those are
packs.
good ones.
Let's do that.
Those are super
Okay,
good.
so a box of that and a T-shirt.
Yep. So if you're
All right.
listening,
So if you're listening and watching,
Like, subscribe.
like, subscribe, and
Comment.
make a comment.
on this
Ma-
episode,
That makes us laugh. We need some good, funny comments.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
something funny.
or it could be something super flattering too.
Or if you
Yeah.
have a serious question or something
Or
that
a
you'd like to
question, yeah.
ask us that we can answer on the next podcast, that would be great too.
Yeah.
Because we like having that type of feedback to
Or
have something to talk
your
about.
guess on how fast Doug can throw a baseball.
Ooh, that's a good one. And someone's ringing my doorbell. Sorry about that. in
Oh
the
boy,
background.
I hear the dog. The
Yeah.
dogs go crazy.
Well, that's a good
Yeah.
time to wrap it up.
All right, well, with that note, I'd like to stay humble and hunt hard.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.